Guilty of crime.
Y'all expected me to come in hot? What's up with that, guys? Hello, welcome back. I'm your host, Jay, with Guilty of Crime. Happy Monday. What do we want? Spicy? We want coming in hot? What do you guys want today? Come on in, guys. Hit the like button. 45 people in here. I appreciate y'all for waiting, guys. House of Horror, kids forced to live in filth, mold, and feces again. This time in Florida. Please reveal shocking details, and I'm going to get even more shocking. And, guys, we have Turtle Island tonight, and tonight we're going to have to be spicy AF. All right, guys? Like, when I say spicy AF, I mean the kind of spicy that y'all like to see. Because tonight, we're getting spicy on Turtle Island. I try to keep my channel very to, like, true crime, and that's what I'm going to do. But Turtle Island, no holds barred, baby. Let's go. All right, what's up, everybody? Good to see you, Allie. I want it all. Colleen, how you doing? Past Pam, my girl Tiff, thank you. Mom, my mom was calling me. My phone's ringing. I'm on the other line. I'm like, Mom, texting my mom. I still get in trouble from my mom, and I'm 47. Just kidding, Mom. Just kidding. Hey, Jinxie, how you doing? No, I don't like to miss y'all. As a matter of fact, you guys know on Friday night, I got myself into some trouble, right? I told you guys on Friday that the wife was gone and baby Guilty was hanging with her friends. So we're not going to talk about the trouble just right now. We're getting into this case, of course. All right. And this is a new case, guys. So come on in, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, because I've got members, subscribers mode only. That way we don't get trolls just popping in. You're still going to elaborate on Santeria. I will. I'm actually going to do another episode on Perez Hilton, and I'm waiting for the deets to come out. So before we move to that, today we're doing House of Horrors. You guys know what's up. Hey, Shannon, Juggalo, needed stream tonight. Helps keep my mind. Well, thank you. Hey, prayers to you if you're in the hospital, whatever's going on. We're here. All right, Mama Pearl, keep her in check. Left to your own vices. I'm telling you, I needed a babysitter on Friday night. Tiff knows. She saw the fuckery that I got into. Hey, Bridget, how you doing? And you know what? It's all good. Sadie's mama knows. Lady for Justice knows. Ganja Girl, another nasty case. You know what? It is a nasty case, but I got to tell you, Ganja Girl, and Habloni and Dept, Rowe, Baja, Sadie's mama. Guys, this is actually a pretty good case because this 6-week-old baby survived. Yes, guys, Florida House of Horrors. All right, we literally have a newborn that got taken away, and this just started as that. The baby wasn't getting nourished, wasn't gaining weight, was literally at the brink of death when CPS was stepping in for another related incident, and they stumbled upon the Florida House of Horrors. Nobody died, guys. Isn't that good? That's good. That's a good day, right? It's like Ice Cube. We didn't have to use our AK. Today was a good day, right? No one died. Hey, Alicia, how you doing? Good to see everyone. Happy Monday. We're also giving away members only. What are we doing? A bag, a printed bag, guilty of crime, and I think some more stickers. So that being said, yes, nobody died though. All right. So check it out. We've got children in custody. We have 4 children getting taken away. Infant 6 weeks old, severely malnourished and hospitalized. 3 other children taken by DCF. And adopted child initially left in custody. All children are now in DCF custody and thriving. That's good news. All right. So this starts on July 7th. 3 days after 4th of July, DCF comes to the house for a visit. All right. This is not something that you would expect to roll into. All right. This is not something that you'd expect to roll into. It's not something that anybody thought. So what began as just a basic welfare check became a malnourished infant, guys, exposed to shocking neglect. All right. Cockroaches, animal waste, mold on the ceiling. All right. Jodie Cannon and the 3 relatives now face criminal charges while 4 children have been rescued and placed under state protection. But the 6-week-old was at the brink of death. All right. Now, let me just tell you real quick so you know these knuckleheads. All right. This is not the Ohio House of Horrors, which, by the way, there's multiple Ohio House of Horrors. Hey, Kath, good to see you from the UK. Yes, glad the kids are out there. That house is getting smashed. It's going to be, it's gone. It's done. That's how bad it is. They were living in that filth and just repainting the ceiling with the mold coming through with a 6-week-old baby. You know what I would give to hold a 6-week-old baby? A lot. All right. A lot. That's all I got to say. Babies are a blessing. So, Jodie, we got this situation again. What's the deal? We've got Jodie, 26 years old, mother of 4, aggravated child neglect with great bodily harm and child neglect. They got aggravated child neglect and great bodily harm child neglect, which, by the way, Jodie is charged the most hefty. Then we've got 30-year-old father of Cannon's children got child neglect without great bodily harm. So it looks like the mom, 26 years old, is getting the most. But, guys, we got Melissa and John Keel, the mother and father of Cannon, all right, of Jodie Cannon, and they've all got child neglect with great bodily harm as well. All right, every child's a blessing, and guys, the more I'm telling you, it goes so fast. I mean, just this weekend alone, I was like, what do I do with myself? Mrs. Guilty's gone, and baby Guilty just wanted to hang with her friends. She starts 6th grade on Thursday, and I'm like, oh no, she's really only going to need me for my Cash App and for me to be her Uber. Hey, Justice Jane. So a 6-week-old baby is a blessing. All right. Hey, Rob Beanie. Holly, thank you for coming. Mab, you guys, we're going to need full backup tonight on Turtle Island. All right. Now, I dropped the link because I know people will say, where's Turtle Island? I put it down in the chat today and I pinned it. Yes, they go fast, very fast. Right. And I love my children. They grow up so fast and they only need you for a couple things. Babies are cool. They are cool. So look at these jokers here, man. This guy's face is tattooed. Hey, I have nothing against tattoos, as you can tell. But when you're tattooing your face and neglecting your kids, what is wrong with these people? How about I just show you, right? Because I'm visual like you are. And I might have to, when we get into the little bit longer episode, I might have to hop up for a minute and run to the bathroom. We'll see. We'll see how long I can hold it for. Let's go. Here it is. These knuckleheads, 26-year-old Jodie Cannon, Jordan Wilson, 30, Melissa Keel, and John Keel. Now, they said that these are the parents of Jodie Cannon. And it's the most wild thing because when I start looking at social media, it doesn't look anything like this house that's going to be demolished and the neglect. Like I said, fake book. If y'all have a Facebook, I don't even care who it is. Even me, even my own Facebook is a fake book, guys. I don't sit there and put on my Facebook, yeah, I just got in an argument or I just had to put my kid on a timeout. Nobody does that. right? Hey, from England to Cali, what's up? Yeah, mathematicians, man, telling you. And I'm not trying to give a stigma about, tattoos or whatever. Tattoo your face. Take care of your kids. Oh God, Lady for Justice. Yes. When babies are born, like those 6 weeks. This baby was 6 weeks old. What? Their head smells still just like heaven, right? It's like beautiful baby. All right, how you doing, proud mama girl? Luna Wolf, good to see you. Luna Wolf got my attention. I normally don't text anybody, but thank you, Luna Wolf. I do appreciate you. I got myself into a little thing on Friday night. It's all good. Hey, Angela. Pisses me off seeing people. I know, and it keeps happening, Shannon. Your daughter's 25 weeks and barely. I know. Let's watch. Take a look.
County family faces child neglect charges after the sheriff's office says they found children in their home living in horrible conditions. The sheriff's office is calling it a house of horrors. I'm Tanika Hughes.
I'm Ben Becker. Now, this all started last week when deputies say a baby was near death when brought to the doctor by the infant's mother. Action News Jack's Casey Stone tells us why neighbors say it's about time these arrests have been made.
I spoke with multiple neighbors, both on and off camera, who say they've been trying to tell authorities about the condition of Cannon's home for a very long time.
Many neighbors have called Child Protective Services because of the conditions of the house and the property.
It started with the arrest of Jodie Cannon over this old infant who doctors say would have died without medical intervention. The case prompted a search warrant of Cannon's home in Florahome.
Now, guys, when I was researching this case, there's some real messed up people out there. All right. You're very welcome, Luna. I appreciate you. Stay being a good person. All right, Luna Wolf. Much love to you. Stay team guilty of crime. All right. Now listen, that house, whatever, right? What have you. But when you could smell piss and shit, and I'm trying to be as nice as I can. Feces, right? Feces and just animals. The pee from the animals has this stench. It's all gal. Yeah, you know what? NorCal, you see me? I'm also a tattoo artist. I just haven't done them in a while. Face and neck tattoos. I call that a job killer too, but look at this. I can't. I still get jobs. Let's be real. All right. Hey, Crazy Jane. All right, so look, people smelled the pee from outside. The wind blows and the pee goes in their direction.
The sheriff's office says on the walls were feces and black mold, and the ground was covered in uneaten food and cockroaches.
Does this remind anybody else of anything? Anybody in chat? Anybody in chat recognize any of this that we hear about? Cockroaches and feces and cat pee and too many animals, not enough food, letting their baby just sit there and cry.
All 4 children who were in the home are now in DCF custody, while the other 3 adults in the home face child neglect charges. Among those arrested is Jordan Wilson, the father of the infant and 2 of the children in the home, and Cannon's mom and stepfather, Melissa and John Keel. Behind me is where the Putnam County Sheriff's Office says 4 children, one just 6 weeks old, was living in complete filth. As you can see behind me, there's trash all around this yard, and neighbors tell me that this is actually clean compared to what it looked like before.
The property smells very strongly of like animal feces and urine. When you walk by the house, you can literally smell the smell coming from the house. So I can imagine what it's like inside.
Caitlin Zava says in the 4 years she's been living down the street from the family, she's seen them leave dogs outside, locked up without food or water for days on end. She says despite calling animal control, the animals were never taken prior to the arrests. She also says multiple neighbors have called the Department of Children and Families about these conditions.
There comes a point where we need to realize that some people are just evil people and shouldn't be allowed to have children.
I reached out to both DCF and...
Guys, now this case is being classified as another house of horrors in Florida this time, with evil people occupying the house. So what a week. Yes, it's Putnam City, Lady for Justice. I haven't even, I came in hot with y'all. Let me quickly just backstory it. All right, let me press play.
Animal Control Services about this case. You can see their full responses on our website, actionnewsjacks.com.
So, guys, I'm still going to follow up on this case. This is just my introduction. I don't think this is going to be the only time I do this. I did a lot of digging for this today, and so did Tiff. Tiff has been researching this since I asked her to last week. So take a look at this real quick. Newborn baby rescued from Florida house of horrors where male resident had nightmarish facial tattoo. What a weird name. What a weird title for them to say. But hey, August 6th, guys. August 6th, 2026. Today is August 10th, 2026. Now, a newborn baby was rescued from what police describe as a house of horrors. Now, this is in a remote Florida neighborhood that is leading to the arrests of 4 family members again. Citers 2.0. Jodie Cannon, 26, was arrested and charged with neglect. Now, guys, when you hear this, again, guys, you guys know I have a trigger. I should have a trigger warning. I should tattoo a trigger warning right here, right? So right when you see me, there's just like a caution tattooed right here because I'm not going to do it on my forehead, but I'm going to need to have like a trigger warning because when I talk, I trigger people. Okay, so be careful today. Yes, prayers up, guys. Prayers for especially for everybody, for the children in this case, for all of them in this case. But I want to do a special shout out to, and Cint doesn't need to talk about it, but say a prayer for Cint and her family. She can always use them. We all can. All right. Huge trigger warning. Now, listen, I'm trigger warning it because this 6-week-old infant weighed 1.3 pounds, guys. The infant had lost 1.3 pounds since birth and was suffering from a severe rash. Okay, of course, we're not going to see baby pictures, but if we did, I'd probably show them because that's what I do. Now, a search warrant later revealed a disturbing scene inside the home with children allegedly sleeping on flea-infested mattresses atop of feces-covered floors amid spreading mold, rotten floorboards, and cockroaches. Okay, the discovery prompted authorities to remove 3 additional children from the home, guys, along with 4 dogs and 3 kittens. We don't even know what kind of dogs. Was it a German Shepherd or was it a Yorkie? Now, a week after Cannon's arrest, Putnam County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of 3 more family members who lived inside that home. Now, it sounds like they're starting to crack down on this kind of thing. Being a hoarder with children, not acceptable, okay? Words can't describe the house of horrors these children were living in, according to the Sheriff Gator DeLoke. Now, he says animal feces, guys, and urine and black mold and flies and small children were trying to navigate the hazardous flooring conditions. And the sad part is they have grown all around this, not knowing they were dealt the absolute worst conditions, he said. I can imagine living in a first world country. Guys, we're getting the same kind of stuff. You remember just recently, everyone was pissed off about them calling it a third world country. Well, guess what? Here we go again. Is it Groundhog's Day? It must be, because there we go again. All right. And don't forget, we're going to be giving away a Guilty of Crime bag later with a sticker pack. So get your likes in. Make sure you get your membership. It is subscribers only mode, but it's not members only. But it is members only to win. All right. Tips throwing out the free shipping as well. So if you order something, there you go. All right. I'll have to get on the free shipping too. All right, let's take a look at some of these pictures. And I do want to go inside that house. When I say I want to go inside the house, I want to get pictures of inside the house. I searched the internet high and low, from Reddit to TikTok to X. I could not find a thing. But I'm imagining this case hasn't been covered a lot. So once it gains a little more attention, we might be able to see. All right, so that's funny. The doctors determined the newborn's vital signs were so weak that the death was highly likely had the police department and DCF not intervened. All right, that's Jodie and Jordan with the baby that they blurred out. Again, I don't care about face tattoos, whatever, but don't be a piece of shit parent. All right, it's funny that they're talking about his tattoo inked across his face. Now, he was arrested and charged with neglect, $2,500 bond. Unless somebody else has heard anything, I don't think they bonded out. Now, she's getting the most amount of the charges. She's the mother, just gave birth 6 weeks, and already neglected. They're all on $2,500 bond. They're not supposed to go back in that house. That house is going to be condemned. All right. So this is the inside of the house, the trashes, the floorboards, the cockroaches, the feces, and the mold that they were painting on top of. All right. There's grandma and grandpa, good old grandma and grandpa again. And then animals. I guess they might have been small animals, huh? Let me just show you some of these pictures. These might be the same. Yeah, they're the same. All right. So there they go. The dumbest award goes to these two people. All right. Inked across his face and can't take care of their kids. So they all got arrested now. They're all arrested. We got a 50-year-old stepfather and a 50-year-old mother and stepfather, Richard John Keel. So I guess it is Melissa, the 26-year-old mom's parents, her stepdad and her mom. All right. Heavily tattooed, her boyfriend, 30 years old, Jordan Tyler Wilson. All three were charged with child neglect with great bodily harm, while John and Melissa were each given a $3,000 bond, including $500 tied to separate misdemeanor failure to appears. Now, Wilson, whose mugshot showed a bizarre tattoo on his face, was given a $2,500 bond. Meanwhile, Cannon faced the highest bond at $35,000. That's the mother. They say, I applaud those who have stepped up to show these children what a safe home and family love should look like, the sheriff said. The children and the foster parents caring for them have a long road ahead of them. Now, think about these children and the 16 children, how much resources, money, therapy, and messed up crap is going to happen. Now, the Haunting House of Horrors began on July 7th. That's when they began detecting it. Let's be real. It was supposed to be a DCF caseworker visit, and it turned into an all-out arrest. Now, the infant's removal was right away from the Nettles home. That was a medical evaluation, and when they discovered the severe diaper rash and signs of unhealthy weight loss from the time the baby was born, well, then they saw the conditions at the residence, and amid the allegations of neglect, they requested Cannon not accompany her children or the 6-week-old infant to the hospital. Good job, guys. Good job. You can't go. You don't take care of your kids. All right. So during the same visit, 2 additional children were removed. They had 4 children. The oldest one was one who remained in the home. Now, as Melissa Keel had legal custody, guys, they adopted this kid. Melissa Keel has an adopted child in the house that's now been taken away. Can you imagine that? What did they adopt this kid for? What do you think? You think they're getting money from it, guys? Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, literally, guys, they adopted someone, and I'm sure they were getting a paycheck. So hopefully they get charged for that as well. The search warrant was to document the environmental concerns and living conditions. Meanwhile, once at the hospital, the doctors determined the newborn's vital signs were so weak that death was highly likely, and it had the police department and DCF not intervened. Now, guys, also listen, the baby had a low heart rate, low temperature as far as, body temperature, and dangerously low weight. Medical records note the infant had fallen below 5th percentile, according to WCJB News. Now, an arrest warrant was then issued for Cannon, who was booked into Putnam County, and ultimately they all booked. A second search warrant came back almost 3 weeks later, July 28th, and they allowed police to comb through the home, and that ultimately led to the arrest of everybody and the removal of the animals. All right, so Law and Crime's got this on. We got Law and Crime, we got X. During the raid, we talked about SWAT teams, feces, animal pee, insect infestations, including cockroaches, flies, probably maggots, right? mattresses surrounded by flies where they would sleep. The oldest child slept, rotting floors painted over the white paint. Black mold was painted over, and several rooms had rotted floors, including the bathroom from a busted water pipe. All right. Now, Allison Waters, the sheriff's office public information officer, said the home was plagued by fly infestations in the kitchen, laundry room, living room, and hallway. Now, and the report revealed that the uneaten food was left rotting on the dishes in one of the bedrooms, where it was crawling with flies and cockroaches. The only usable bathroom was in disrepair. The tub had rust and looked like it hadn't been used in some time. Now, a separate arrest came for her boyfriend, Jordan, and that was obtained by people who revealed authorities prepared to enter the home of a strong odor of animal urine was emanating from the inside of the residence to the out. Now, once they came inside, authorities encountered a strong, unhealthy odor coming from the refrigerator that was so overpowering it nearly caught a SWAT team member. It almost made a SWAT team member vomit. Are you guys listening to this? This is not a good story if you were about to eat dinner, all right? If you're eating, stop. All right? If you're eating, just stop. If you are hungry, you're no longer hungry. All right? These people right here, those people, supposed to be adults. All right? Now, the animals were evaluated and placed for adoption in healthy homes, as they should. Authorities warned additional charges could be brought against them, and the sheriff's office continues to investigate. All right? The kids are thriving. They're gaining weight. The biological father of the 3 children removed from the home. He is Wilson, the guy with the face tattoo. All right? So, listen, they're getting adopted. The previously adopted child, they lost custody. DCF's coming back. And we're still going to continue covering this. All right, let's take a look at this, and then we'll continue. I know. You guys hear what I'm saying? Rotten food, rotten trash. Guys, it was the worst of the worst.
4 children, including a newborn, were removed from a, quote, house of horrors that was allegedly ridden with animal feces and black mold, Florida authorities said. Parents Jodie Cannon and Jordan Wilson, along with Jodie's mother, Melissa Keel, and her stepfather, John Keel, were arrested on child neglect charges, according to the Putnam County Sheriff's Office. It is unclear whether they have entered a...
All right, guys, in case I came in and I forgot to say, do me a favor, hit the like button. I did not put a goal today. No, I'm going to throw a goal up there real quick. And just if y'all can help try to get to the goal, we are giving stuff away. And then later on Turtle Island, hey, I'm all for buying some eggs, y'all. Let me press play, and I'm going to put a goal up. If y'all want to just, get a membership, gift a membership, whatever, it all helps. And it's Monday, I know.
Plea, and their attorneys did not immediately return a request for comment from Oxygen.com. Sheriff H.G. Gator DeLoach said in a press release, quote, "Words cannot describe the house of horrors these children were living. Animal feces and urine everywhere. Black mold, flies, small children trying to navigate hazardous flooring conditions." Authorities began investigating the family on July 7th when a Department of Children and Families caseworker called emergency medical services to request an evaluation for Jodie's 6-week-old infant, according to Fox 17. Jodie was arrested on July 21st after officials determined that the baby suffered from medical neglect, Fox 17 reported. The 3 children she shares with Jordan were then removed from the home, the sheriff's office said. 1 week later, detectives, along with members of the Putnam County SWAT team, executed a search warrant at Jodie's residence where the family lived. Inside, officers encountered what they described as, quote, deplorable conditions, according to the Putnam County Sheriff's Office. Floors in several rooms, including a bathroom, were rotting, partly due to water from broken pipes. The ceiling had been repaired in an unsafe way with visible signs of black mold.
Can you guys imagine that? God, and I'm going to thank you, Holly. I appreciate y'all. We're going to be here for a while, so hey, no worries. And guys, if we do get to our goal, let's say we make it to the goal up there, I'll give another thing of merch out, and I'll have Tiff ship it for me for free. All right, but I'm going to also gift the membership here once I'm done presenting this case to you and I can chat with y'all and answer questions, I certainly will. All right. And then I'll gift a membership and we'll go from there. We're 30 minutes in, our normal deal. Happy Monday, guys. I'm feeling good. I'm trying to work out the crazy today. All right. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't understand why this keeps happening.
Covered with white paint. Flies were swarming the home, including a mattress where detectives were told a child slept on. There were also cockroaches in Jordan's room, which contained uneaten food left on dishes. Jordan, Melissa, and John were arrested on July 28th. The sheriff's office said, quote, as they all were adult household members who failed to provide the child with care, supervision, and services necessary to maintain the child's physical and mental health. Melissa's adopted child was then removed from the home. The children have since been placed in foster care.
Can anyone else think of why the hell somebody would, why would somebody adopt another baby? And how did they get to adopt that kid when they don't have a house to? Thank you, Pearl. Thank you, Mama Pearl. She's getting us kicked off. She knows what's up. I bought her a milkshake this weekend. Thanks, Mom. I always know how to get Mama Pearl, guys. She loves sweets. If y'all ever want to smooth Mama Pearl, she likes milkshakes, apple pie, and almost anything sweet. All right. Hey, MP, good to see you. Breaks my heart. I know. And if we don't see the signs, guys, and we don't see the neighbor, they shouldn't have a bomb, but they're not out either. And I get it. We're this case just started, so don't worry. Okay, no, I got to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. And it's, it's about this case, but it's also a little personal. All right. You guys know. How in the hell did they adopt a baby that wasn't biologically theirs at all? How? I had trouble. And when I say trouble, I mean, I had to do a lot to adopt baby Guilty. Now, I did the whole process of baby Guilty, bought the sperm online, put it in my car, drove to Kaiser, and got it put in to have a baby. And I still had to adopt baby Guilty. I had to do all different references. People had to write pages sent to the judge. I had to fill out forms, have house visits, do background checks, everything you could think of to adopt my own baby. But these people could just adopt a kid. How did that happen? I can't understand that. I don't understand what the laws are there. There you go. Holly says, here's some sweets. Well, I don't know how that happened. I really don't understand that. I mean, they gave me the hardest time and I've slid through no problem. All right. Yeah, she does got good genes. She's small and she walks a lot and she can eat that. Hey, Cheeky. Baby Guilty, my baby. I miss her so much. She's taller than me now, guys. She's taller than me. I don't know what the kind of adoption. I'm just saying. I had to adopt my own baby and they put me through a bunch of stuff, which is fine. I have no problem with. I have no problem with that. All right. I saw that, Rocco. And I posted that on Ghost. Courtney Clenny. And guys, I hope that you guys watched me on Friday because I predicted that Courtney Clenny would get 7 years when in fact she ended up with 6 years and 4 years of time served. She'll be out in probably 16 to 18 months. I'm not going to tell you how I feel about that just yet. Just go watch my episode. But thank you, Rocco. I absolutely predicted that. I told you some evidence came out in the Courtney Clenny case right before that caused them to do a plea deal. And I'm talking about both sides. I'm talking both sides, right? All right, let's continue. So, oh, we got the base. It's like that. All right, let's look at a couple of the X posts. All right, because a lot of the information's the same. I just want you to see these people, and if we pick anything else up, this was the article that I showed you, the Daily Mail. Oh, they're not even going to click on it like that. Okay, so I'll just come down this way. They're not letting me click there, otherwise it clicks out. I'm gonna go back to here real quick and see if we got anything new. I did get some TikTok videos, but there was nothing really that was crazy new. Okay, Florida deputies. Now, guys, today's August 10th. On August 8th, this is two days ago, Florida deputies said the home had unsafe ceiling, black mold, rotting floor. I wonder if there's a new update on this. 3 children, including a newborn, have been rescued. Hold on, let's take a look real quick after. Let me look back at this. Nope, we're all back to Courtney Clenny stuff again. So there it is right there. I mean, basically, 1 6-week-old and 3 children. 3, I don't know the ages of them just yet, but you got to think that the mom is only 26 years old with 4 children. So the children can't be older than a certain age, right? Don't make me laugh like that, Luna. I knew you were going to say that. Hey, Cat Psychic Connection, how you doing? And guys, when we get to the next segment where I'm not reading and talking, I promise you I'll gift a membership, okay? It's important that we do memberships here and we keep our good community of people. All right, let's do this. Let's go right on here. We want to talk about all of it. So there's the children in the custody. If you just rolled in like Cat's Psychic Connection, all right, that gives you 1,000-foot overview of what happened. July 7th, DCF comes to the home, not for anything but to make sure the baby's okay. All right, they caught wind. Now, July 7th, they visit. They come back between the 7th and the 8th. They take the baby, they hospitalize the baby, and then they come back on July 20th and arrest Cannon. All right, then they come back on the July 28th and 29th a week later with a search warrant. They execute that, and August 3rd, the case was publicly announced. So it's just coming out as we go. All right. I can't understand how they did. How did they, though? All right. So 50-year-old Melissa Keel and John Keel. Guys, these people don't look like they. I mean, let me show you. I want to show you their Facebook real quick. Let me show you their Facebook because, like I said, it's fake book. Let me show you something. All right. I found her page too, but I found Melissa Keel's page and her husband, and they don't look like any of this. All right. So these are the two people, the mom and the stepdad of the mom of 4. Okay. Putnam County has arrested 26-year-old Jodie. So they're the mother and stepfather of Jodie. According to investigators, the 4 adults were living in the home with 4 children, including the 6-week-old infant who was hospitalized, described as life-threatening medical neglect. Now, before the arrest, guys, Melissa Keel, all right, Melissa Keel's the 50-year-old grandmother, is on her social fake book media, and she writes, "We're checking on her. She's always said everything was fine and the baby. The only thing that hurts more is people seem to be holding me accountable." Guys, she gets arrested. "I feel like I did all I could." Investigators ultimately ended up concluding that there was sufficient evidence to charge all these adults. All right, after they saw the kids on the ground with animal feces, urines, black mold, cockroaches, flies, rotting floors, and very little food, the home was later condemned, and the children were removed by Florida DCF. Okay, and I know how bad the DCF department is in Florida, guys, because I did an episode on it, and I got into the episode with people that work there. It's bad, but they still did justice. Now, here's this Melissa Keel on Facebook. We like to look back at their social media. It's Facebook. That is her social media on her stupid Facebook. And she's saying, "We were checking on her and she was always fine." No, lady, you were in the house with rotting mold, filth, baby dying. What? And then someone says they do. You can't push too hard. I'm just thankful they're going to get the help they need. Well, guess what? They didn't know that law enforcement was going to come back and arrest all of them, which is funny to me. They deserve it. So then she says, "Me too. The only thing that hurts me more is people seem to be holding me accountable." Sure do, lady. All right. So ultimately, those two end up getting arrested, and then him at the same time. First, the mother did. Now, I've got the fake books of him and her, but you would never be able to tell that any of that stuff was going down. It completely like different people. I'll just show you real quick instead of telling you. 1 second. All right, John Keel. They both have their fake books, and it's ridiculous. Let me pull this down. I love fake book. Hey, MM Clark, good to see you, my friend. We got Turtle Island tonight. All right, take a look. Look at that. There's Melissa Keel. That's a 50-year-old mama 3 and grandma of 6. So blessed to have a wonderful husband and family that love me. What? I don't understand. So look at this picture. Would anyone in a million years think that? Okay, so the 4th child was adopted by Melissa while the child's biological father was Wilson. Now that must be the child they adopted right there on the screen. Nobody would ever see fake book and say, oh, look at how good they are. They took them to medieval times and they're doing this and they're doing that. Oh, they got motorcycle riding. What a good set of adopted parents. Would anyone think that? Would anyone think there's going to be mold and cockroaches and right? Anyone? That's what they're presenting on their platform, guys. That's the mom and dad of the 26-year-old mother of 4, and that must be the child that they adopted. All right? There's other children there that you could clearly see are probably the grandkids of, she has 6 grandkids. There they are there. It gives you a little idea of how old they were. All right? I know grandpa's facial expressions. Cheapskate. You know what? You said I work in child welfare. Oh, yeah, because you know what, Cheapskate? When I was working the Madeline Soto case, I was taking other cases as well. Dalton, there was the Dalton case. There was other cases from Florida, and they wanted me to specifically look into DCF in Florida and how they run it, and it was terrible, Cheapskate. Now, I'm not saying you or where you work for. I'm just saying in general, they contract jobs out and they don't do background checks, all right? What am I being held accountable? Those aren't my cockroaches. Those are her cockroaches. Wait, she's the one that left the maggots there. It's not my fault. You bet your boots I'll be on Turtle. Oh, we're going to have a battle on Turtle Island tonight, guys. I'll tell you what. All right, so beautiful little babies. Let's hope that they continue flourishing. They have been taken, and they're all healthy right now and placed elsewhere. And Synth, you guys say a prayer to Synth. I didn't want to be the one to say that, but her Synth's dog Maxie Poo or Max passed away this afternoon, and it's so rough. I'm sorry, Synth. I know how bad it is. I know. All right, so there's the children, guys, and the bond's not high enough, but these people don't seem like they even have enough, like they're going to be able to do anything to get out. But look at fake book. This is the fakest shit ever. When you see this kid and, we adopted him. What were they doing to him behind the scenes? What is going on? Look at that. That doesn't look anything like the house that they're talking about, does it? I don't see any of that. I don't see maggots. I don't see feces. I see a little bit of dirt like here and there on their face. And I'm like, maybe they just finished eating. But when you look back here, look at the floors. Is this their house? Do you see the floors back there, guys? Look at the back. The fridge is coming out. The floors separating. I wonder if that's where they work. I know. And Synth, I love you. But of course, I did that with you guys too. I sent the picture when my dog Trace passed away. I was not expecting to see your dog passed away, Synth, but I'm here for it. Sad though. Sorry. Yeah, it's horrible. You don't have to be here if you are. I don't know how you're feeling, but probably it's better to be here than not, huh? All right. So this is all just hogwash, right? Call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it that. I'm going to pull this down and show you John's John thinks he's a superhero, apparently. When you go to John Kills, this man likes Superman, Marvel DC, right? He's a son of the American Legion, but his kids aren't eating or taken care of. They tried to blur his face out, but didn't do too good. This is him. Does that look anything like what they're explaining to you in there? Hey, Cynthia and Nicole, Clark, big hugs. Thank you for all the prayers for Synth, guys. Yep. All right, so these people there's nothing about the, and look at her, my sexy husband. I wonder if he was sexy when the maggots were swarming the mattresses on the floor. What do you guys think? This is horrible. People are calling it evil, but I need to see more before I determine that. So let's continue. Let's talk more about what's going on. I'm going to gift a membership, y'all. All right. Baby found clinging to life. Now we're going to hear more about the court and what happened. All right.
4 people living under the same roof are now behind bars after an infant was found clinging to life inside an alleged Florida house of horrors.
The property smells very strongly of like animal feces and urine, so I can't imagine what it's like inside.
We are getting a fuller picture of the home's horrific conditions directly from local television station Action News Jax as they visit the property.
And that's where I'm getting into. So, I think I showed that before this. I mean, this episode is pretty limited. There's only a certain amount of information, no matter how much I dug. All right. So come on in, hit the like button. I'm going to gift the membership. I hope Rocco gets a membership. You need a membership, Rocco. I know. Dogs are like our children, guys. You know that. All right.
And speak with neighbors.
Frankly, I think if they'd been living out in the woods as feral children, they would have probably been in a much cleaner, safer environment than what they were in this home.
The Putnam County Sheriff is also here with
guys. I mean, is this a deja vu? Because he literally just called them feral children and said they'd be better off living in the woods. People were so mad about that last Ohio House of Horrors where they called them third world countries and feral. Where's the yeah, it just keeps happening. It's hard to really be mad at that when they're describing it right. Thank you, Gianna. And yeah, huge prayers to you. All right.
With his lead detective, and they are sharing chilling discoveries they say they found behind closed doors. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
All right, Mr. Stewart.
And those are just some of the horrific conditions we're told were found inside the house. Neighbors are also talking about what they have seen from the outside of this home in Florahome, Florida.
There was literally no food there for the children. They weren't being cared for. And here's the reality of it. This is nothing more than a case of pure unadulterated laziness.
That is the sheriff, Gator Deloach of Putnam County, Florida, where all of this is taking place. I just talked to him and his lead investigator on this case, a man named Chris Ashley. I'm going to be honest. They didn't hold back when they talk about not just the conditions that only those who experienced it can actually describe, but also why they believe this allegedly happened. And the excuses they say the people now in custody had for the conditions that children were living in.
I didn't even get to hear the excuses. I didn't get to watch the press conference. We're going to do all that now. Clips of it from the deputy's office. I also didn't even tell you about what they said inside the house. The people that went into the house said that it looked like that stuff had been on the floor for like 10 years. Literally just stuck on top of stuck on top of stuck. If you received a gifted membership, come on out and say hello, guys. That is, how do you even, yeah, and guys, it's funny because that's all I hear in my head is feral children. I took baby Guilty to the sky jump like 2 weeks ago, and she went under the bench, and she's all, I'm hiding from them. I'm all, who are you hiding from? The feral children. They're obviously not feral, but you know. But to her, kids chasing you around and trying to get you on the jump up on the Sky jump. What are those trampolines? They're feral. Thank you. Past Pam got a membership. Awesome. Congratulations. We're going to be giving away some Guilty of Crime merch at the end. So you definitely want to be in green. All right.
And let's talk about neglect here for a second, because maybe you got a neighbor and you feel.
All right. Let me talk about neglect just for 1 second, because I hadn't seen this about 10 years. I mean, that's a lot. Who's going to pay for that house? Let me see. So we talked about the low heart rate. Oh, this was the wrong one. This one right here. Hold on. This was the very first day that they went in and they found Jodie's 6-week-old child was severely underweight, but they didn't get to anything other than that. But when they went back, the reason they went back and executed a search warrant is because they said there was deplorable living conditions, and the home was, the ceiling was unsafe, the repair of the actual roof, the black mold painted over, the rotting floors, and the animal feces with mattresses, cockroaches, flies, and fleas. And it looked like nothing had been cleaned in at least 10 years, which, by the way, they are condemning that house, but somebody owns that house. So I'm wondering how and what's going to happen. I mean, this is beyond hoarding. Hey, coffee dogs to you. My friend grew up in a house like this. The ceiling was caved in. There were cockroaches and mice. Oh my God. So there were 3 cats and 4 dogs that they also took. Yeah, baby, guilty. I'm hiding from them damn feral kids. Let's go. All right, speaking of let's go, I'm going to hit play for a second. I will be right back.
Like they could clean up their house a little bit better. Maybe you've seen a home and you think it's just something, it doesn't look good for someone as you're just driving by, a place for them to live. Having a messy house, that's not a crime.
I don't know.
Itself. But what we're talking about, according to law enforcement, is because in this particular case, police say there were people in this home, young children, who were completely helpless. And not just young children, a newborn infant. And because law enforcement say the conditions in this house were so bad, they believe that law enforcement and first responders were able to get to this 6-week-old child before he lost his life. And now police have thrown 4 different people into jail after an investigation they say has spanned nearly a month. Now we're going to get into more here of what this neighbor had to say to local station Action News Jax about the shocking things she says she's seen from an outside perspective and how the surrounding community tried to step in to help. And we also have the reports directly from police giving a terrifying up-close look of what this home was allegedly hiding behind closed doors. And then just wait for our interview that we had with the Putnam County Sheriff and his lead detective. They shared some crucial information about how long they believe potentially the conditions were like this in this home. So let's jump right into this case. This all begins July 7th of this year. And according to police, the Department of Children and Families, DCF, conducted a follow-up visit at the home involving a 6-week-old infant male. Now, the reason for the follow-up was this infant was allegedly born with marijuana in his system as well as kratom. The police report cites medical experts explaining that infants exposed to those substances are at great risk for strokes, cardiac arrhythmias, respiratory distress, and compromise, impaired neurocognitive development, and severe withdrawal symptoms. So it makes sense that DCF wanted to keep a close eye on this baby. And the sheriff told me that the mom, she also allegedly admitted to smoking marijuana throughout the pregnancy. DCF contacted the boy's mom, 26-year-old Jodie Cannon, and observed that the infant was extremely underweight. DCF then asked Cannon when she last took her son to the doctor, and she said she took him when he was 2 weeks old, but she couldn't provide an exact date. And when DCF asked Cannon why her son hadn't been to the doctor since, she said their pediatric office closed and she hadn't found another doctor yet. Now, because of the alleged malnourished state of Cannon's son, DCF advised Cannon that they would take her and the infant to the emergency room. But Cannon reportedly declined. And that is when DCF reportedly took matters into their own hands and called first responders because this baby needed immediate medical attention. Here's what police said happened at the hospital. Quote, once at the ER, there were...
So good. I was trying to get into all of this as well with you. I tried to find like the probable cause affidavit. I can't really find much yet, but I do want to follow this case because there are at this point 4 defendants, and this has been going on for a long time. They let the baby go home, but not to them. Did they let him go? Wait, what? What, did I miss something? They let him go home for a week? Wait. Let him go home for how long? I didn't see that. Wait, what? Okay, hold on a second. Let me come back here for a second. Just for a second before I get into that. Sorry.
Underweight. DCF then asked Cannon when she last took her son to the doctor, and she said she took him when he was 2 weeks old, but she couldn't provide an exact date. And when DCF asked Cannon why her son hadn't been to the doctor since, she said their pediatric office closed and she hadn't found another doctor.
So the baby was 6 weeks old. Okay. The baby was 6 weeks old. I did not see the born addicted, but if I missed that, we're going to come back around to it. Oh my God. Kratom, weed, that's a sin. Their IQ test came back negative. You straight up said that. That's funny.
Doctor yet. Now, because of the alleged malnourished state of Cannon's son, DCF advised Cannon that they would take her and the infant to the emergency room. But Cannon reportedly declined. And that is when DCF reportedly took matters into their own hands and called first responders because this baby needed immediate medical attention. Here's what police said happened at the hospital. Quote, once at the ER, there were positive findings of medical neglect. The infant required PICU admission due to low heart rate.
All right, we'll talk about this just for a minute. Hey, Dale, good to see you. Absolutely. And if anything, Dale, the children that these cases are happening with, you guys need to see that. It needs to be put in the spotlight because look at what's happening, and nobody's doing anything about it until it's almost too late. Why is it that the baby was on the brink of dying before that happened? I just can't understand. Hey, Gianna, welcome to the Crime Crew official. Good to have you. Good to have you. All right, so PQ admission. So that's what I was telling you earlier. Low body temperature, low weight. What's PQ required? Is that like NICU admission where they monitor them? And then it says DCF's intervention. So without DCF, if DCF wouldn't have came on July 7th, the infant could have easily died. There were also positive findings of failure to thrive. The infant lost 600 grams between birth and 6 weeks. So 1.3 pounds. We talked about that earlier. I don't do grams, all right? 6 weeks of age and his weight. The mother did not recognize the severity of the illness and refused when they told her to go to the ER. And then she wanted to go to the ER and they said, listen, bish, you can't go. Now, after they forced her to, then she wanted to go. And they said, no, you're going to be arrested. Hey, why does my husband need to go to the store now? One of these days I'll be able to walk. Have a wonderful night. Kratom is getting his ghetto drug. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I love everyone's opinions. I didn't even know there was a kratom epidemic. Is there a kratom epidemic that I'm missing? Because I keep hearing people talk about kratom, but I've never seen anyone get like, I'm high off of some kratom. What is that? Isn't that the same thing as just like buying some weird shit at the store? Those little pills? I don't get it. Whatever. I think they are doing a lot more than that. All right. Hey, Juanita.
In birth and 6 weeks of age, which is a lot. The mother, and we're talking about Jodie Cannon here, did not recognize the severity of the illness and even refused when told to go to the ER. As a result, Jodie Cannon was arrested on July 21st for charges of child neglect with great bodily harm, a second-degree felony, along with a third-degree felony charge of child neglect. Now, her infant son, along with her two other young children, were also placed in the custody of DCF. And it is, when you hear about how close, according to law enforcement,
that guy's been working out. You can tell. Look at that 8 pounds of muscle. I think they are tweaking. I don't know. Did they say anything about that? This isn't going to stop, guys. Yeah, kratom's nothing new. I don't understand where it's starting to come in with that, but yeah, it's like bath salt. It's ghetto. It's like huffing paint, guys. Come on. Who's a paint huffer? Not me, not y'all. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. This world is just all messed up. I mean, look at this. When the people prioritize themselves to take a picture of a 6-pound weight clearly tweaking off of something, and they can't take care of their baby, and there's maggots and flies cycling on the floor with animal feces. What? I didn't have my own glasses on. Yes, Florida, Victoria, Florida. But at least it's not Ohio House of Horrors, because there's 2 or 3 Ohio House of Horrors. I think so too, Elizabeth. Let's continue. I want to know more about this case.
Enforcement. This 6-week-old was to dying. It is such a good thing that that child is now in the custody of someone else. If convicted on all charges, Cannon could face up to 20 years in prison. Now,
Do it.
again,
Do
we're obviously
it.
thankful that her son is alive, but these circumstances, they are tough to hear. And unfortunately, this is just the tip of the iceberg, according to law enforcement, because there are 4 people, remember, in custody in this case. So I want to fast forward a week later. We're on July 28th now, and the Putnam County SWAT team and detectives with the Putnam County Sheriff's Office served a search warrant for Jodie Cannon.
I want to see what the house looks like inside. I was trying to find like an address or something where I can like look up that area and see, but they really didn't put an address. So nothing looks wrong there. Hey, I got to give you props, Channel 53. That was funny. I never used any kind of, what'd you say? I never used any kind of gas station drugs. Just the, what was it? They have like a make love longer with these pills. Romance pills. Get your romance tonight. His tattoo was 100% correct over his eye. He can't see.
House. And based on information they received from DCF and other resources about the alleged unsafe conditions that the infant child was living in, they had to move in. And when law enforcement arrived at the home, they discovered.
See, these are up from the fake book, all right? You have it? Send it to me, please. But look, those are the fake book pictures that we were looking at, and nothing about that is what they found in that house, right? On top of an adopted child that they're probably getting money for. The real Italian true sleuth. What's up? The romance wands. Yeah, guaranteed doubles everything immediately. Skip the kratom and go to the romance pill. You won't be disappointed, right? Channel 53. Yeah, check it out on Zillow. Send me. They look like they smell. Gianna, I couldn't have said that better. And no, poor has nothing to do with nasty. Poor has nothing to do with dirty. Ciders have nothing to do with being poor and dirty at the same time. It's what they choose to do and how they continued to live. When you have mold on your ceiling and your roof is falling in, you either call the landlord that somebody owns the house and get him to fix it, or you fix it with your homeowner's insurance. You don't paint over black mold and then have a 6-week-old baby in there that can't breathe, hasn't eaten, and can barely move. That's what happened there. All right. That's what was going on.
Even more people had been living there aside from Jodie Cannon and her children.
Who owned this house?
He believes that a total of 4 children were living in this house. Also living in the home, Jordan Wilson. He is the biological father to Jodie Cannon's children. Also there, Melissa Keel, who is the children's biological grandmother, John Keel, who is Jodie Cannon's stepfather, along with Melissa and John's adoptive son. So he is the 4th, who was at the time still.
Again, all fake book. And guys, yeah, poor doesn't mean nasty. Just like rich doesn't mean you're clean. All right, let me hit play real quick because I got Baby Guilty yelling for me for some reason. One sec, guys.
In their custody. So now it's discovered that at one point, several children were reportedly living inside the home. And here's where this story takes such a disturbing and dark turn. According to police, a detective, DCF investigator, and a Putnam County code enforcement officer proceed to inspect the residence. And prior to entry, a strong odor of animal urine was emitting from inside the home. Now, we heard from a neighbor who lived down the street from the home for 4 years, and it sounds similar to what she says she's witnessed from the outside.
The property smells very strongly of like animal feces and urine, so I can imagine what it's like inside. There comes a point where we need to realize that some people are just evil people and shouldn't be allowed to have children.
The neighbor also told Action News Jax that several nearby residents allegedly called CPS because of the home and property's conditions, and she's made attempts to also contact animal control after allegedly witnessing several dogs locked outside the property without food or water for days, along with several matted dogs running up and down the street. Putnam County Animal Services responded to the television station with a statement explaining they responded to the home, and at the time, its residents eventually took corrective actions. Now, in our conversation with the sheriff and his detective, they seem to have zeroed in on when this house may have started to get into such bad shape. So I want
Thanks for being patient here. How you doing, Janet? Yeah, they adopted the son, and I'm imagining they were getting checks for the adoption as one would. Right? I had to run across the house to take my phone to order DoorDash. All right, let's continue. I don't know. I talked about how did they adopt a child in that house. I don't know.
to continue on here, though, with what we're learning from court documents, because now law enforcement is gearing up to enter the home. And the alleged details there are hard to stomach, especially when you think of the four children who were living inside.
Yeah, man. Most of the time, somebody knows somebody in these cases. Eastern Girl says, "This is sad. My daughter works with the sister of the mother of the newborn," which is Eastern Girls, is Jodie, 26-year-old Jodie Cannon, a 6-week-old baby, and 2 other children. But I know they had 4 children, 3. Did she give birth to all of them? Am I understanding that right, guys? Did the Melissa and John adopt Jordan and Jodie's first baby? Yeah, money and abuse. What? Hey, Kara. Yeah, again, we're still untangling this case. It just came in, and having money doesn't mean you're clean, and being poor doesn't mean you're dirty. And Section 8 doesn't mean that, something's bad. But listen, if you had Section 8 and you're fighting for, let's say, hey, the house is moldy, you need to fix it, then it's on them, right? You're not going to sit in a house and paint over their stuff and leave rotten food there. I don't think. But they did. All right. Let's take a look at a little more. The detective, along with DCF and Putnam County enforcement, proceeded with to inspect the residence. And again, guys, they went for one checkup on the baby to make sure, hey, this baby's 6 weeks old, and you haven't brought the baby in for the last 4 weeks. You missed your appointments. I want to go to the ER right now. Nope, I'm not going. The baby's fine. Fine, we'll take the baby. You're going to get arrested. And that's what happened. And then they came back and arrested everybody.
The entryway led to the living room, which is where the infant's grandparents, Melissa and John Keel, slept on couches. The juveniles slept on a filthy mattress on the floor. There was an infestation of flies, not only in the living room, but also in the kitchen and hallway. The flies were also swarming the area where the juvenile was sleeping. As we continued, animal feces and urine were very visible on the floor. On one spot of the floor, near a washer and dryer, were fresh animal feces with another swarm of flies surrounding it. The kitchen, the sink, had a large number of soiled pots and pans that had not been cleaned for a long time.
Well, I want to know what happened. Okay, so the opposite, Eastern Girls. What does that mean, the opposite? I know based on this and what we've been looking at, that Jodie was the mother of the 6-week-old and 2 other children. And Melissa and John adopted another child that got taken away. And no, there was no family because, well, it's a 26-year-old Jodie and Jordan, 30, and they're living, and they got these people, so no one can take them to another place. So I'm just curious what you're saying by that. I don't care. I don't even care if it was relatives or not. What I'm saying is, how did it get like that? That's what I want to know. I'm not trying to, make a mother that's 26 years old, did something wrong, lose her child. I don't want anything bad like that to happen. But how did it get like that is what I'm saying. The sister's gross. Yeah, I don't think anybody would be gross like Jodie, but I'm talking about Melissa, John, Jodie, and Jordan. And then, the sister, but the sister, nobody got the children, right? Her sister didn't get the child. CPS took all of them and rehomed them. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it got to that point. That's what I wonder, is how did it get that far? Like, how many times do you let an animal pee and poop and recycle that? How many plates do you leave out? How many flies do you let pile up? How much mold do you paint over? How many times do you do that?
Large amount of time. Under the sink, the pipes had leaked at some point, which caused the wood floor to rot with signs of mold showing. The roof above the dining room had been patched, but was structurally not sound, according to code enforcement. The ceiling that had mold on it had been painted over with white paint. As law enforcement continued searching the home, they discovered the only usable bathroom was allegedly in disrepair, and the floor under the sink was rotting with water damage. As for the bedroom, the infant's father, Jordan Wilson, was allegedly using, police described its conditions as cluttered and deplorable, with flies and cockroaches seen throughout the bedroom.
Guys, I can't even walk outside to my car and see a bug like that, or trash day came and the trash can, like the trash doesn't take it all the way, like a piece falls off and there's I can't. But I do want to show you this real quick, because now I got it figured out a little more. Let me look at this real quick. Hold on. So there it is. Okay, so Florida officials rescue newborn and they discover the house of horrors with flea-ridden beds and animal feces on the floor. 4 children living in a home has been removed, and their parents are now charged with neglect. Now, that unfolded from July 7th up until August 6th, when we started finding out, 5th, 6th. What we do need to know, and I need to know, I'm trying to figure out who is the parents of what and who's adopting who. So that is Jodie, and that's her mom and her stepdad. All right. They were also charged. There's her boyfriend, the biological father of her 3 children. The 4th child is not theirs. It's theirs, adopted. It will say it right here. So detectives, they rescued severely neglected and malnourished newborn on July 7th, and the mom was taken into custody. And that's because she didn't want to take the baby to the ER. So they said, we'll do it. And she said, can I go? And they said, no, you're going to jail. Now, they arrested her at the Florida home initially. Police also removed her other 2 children. So 6 weeks old and 2 other children on the property. And they were unable to take the 4th boy initially because he had a different mother. And he didn't have enough evidence of neglect at the time. All right. So authorities said they returned with a search warrant. Guys, July 7th is when they got the baby. July 28th, that's almost 3 weeks later, when they went back to look at the other children and how they were living. Almost 3 weeks later, they ended up finding all the children, taking everybody out and arresting them. All right. The mother refused. Look at this. The mother of 6-week-old Jodie Cannon, previously been contacted by DCF, asked to take the baby to see a doctor, and she refused. Then they arrested her, right? Once the detectives arrived at the Florida home, a town located approximately 60 miles from Jackson, they requested the mother not accompany them with the newborn because of the accusations of neglect. Now, you can't tell me this girl doesn't know that she's neglecting her child and herself. Her legs look almost purple in this picture. What's the deal with that? Their eyes are tweaked out, face is broken out, hair uncombed, and she looks like she doesn't have any circulation here, guys. And the baby, the doctors get there to take the baby, and the infant has their vital signs are so weak, the doctor thinks the baby's going to die. All right. So, I mean, how did this happen? I want to know. All right. I just wanted you guys to see who that was, because I couldn't figure out who the kids were to what. All right. She does look, they all look neglected.
Police said the room was unsanitary for a juvenile due to used dinner dishes found on the floor of a dresser for an unknown length of time. And it really just gets worse. Quote, the residents had a refrigerator in the kitchen that had barely enough food for all 4 people to eat. There were also bugs and a strong unhealthy odor coming from inside the refrigerator that almost made a SWAT team member vomit. A second stand-up freezer in the kitchen was empty, but also had a strong odor coming from inside. Now, due to the disgusting conditions allegedly uncovered, An unsafe structure placard was placed on the home, and the remaining child, Melissa and John Keel's adoptive son, was placed into DCF custody. The Putnam County Sheriff's Office said that 4 dogs and 3 kittens were also voluntarily surrendered to Putnam County Animal Services in order to be evaluated and placed for adoption. Due to the voluntary surrender, detectives are not pursuing animal neglect charges in this case. As for now, Jordan Wilson, Melissa Keel, and John Keel were all arrested on third-degree felony child.
So think about that, guys. Imagine the fact that the baby left, and when they had to come back 3 weeks later, get the other 3 children, verify who the mom is, and then take the animals to a shelter. Where is she dyeing her hair at? Where are they getting their tattoos at? Can you imagine someone coming in for a tattoo? I can't imagine. I do tattoos. I can't imagine somebody stinky like that coming in and being like, can you tattoo me? And they smell like straight that, all right? Bugs and funk. Like you can smell it from the wind from the neighbors, they said.
Child neglect in connection to Cannon's infant son, which carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. But according to the sheriff's office, additional charges are possible for all 4 family members related to the other children residing in the home. There have been no future court dates set as of now, but we will keep a close eye on this case as it continues to unfold. Join us now to talk more about this is Sheriff Gator Deloche of Putnam County, Florida, as well as the lead investigator on this case, Chris Ashley. Thank you both for taking the time to be with us today. Let's just start with what you found in this house. How would you characterize, and we've seen some pictures from the outside. What did you see when you went in the door?
Honestly, Chris, I wish we were able to share the pictures with you from the interior of the residence. I can tell you in 25 years.
I'm going to get those, guys. We're going to get those. We're going to get those pictures. Even if I just get to see them and post them up on Ghost. I got to see what the house looks like. That son looks like an extra whack, low budget 80s horror movie, right? Who's tattooing them? I want to know. And I'll tell you, I've had some horror stories before. People will come and they're like, hey, I want my ankle tattooed or I want my foot tattooed. And they put their feet up there and their feet stink. They got stinky socks and stinky shoes. They don't even wash them before. Come over, take their shoe off, take their sock off. And you're like, how do you say that? Like, dude, you stink. I can't tattoo you. I've tried. All right, try to get them for you. That would be awesome. I would love to know more about this case. But I literally asked Mrs. Guilty, what should I do? This girl stinks, and she keeps coming back and asking to get her foot tattooed and her ankle. And every time she comes, she stinks. Or this person doesn't wear deodorant because, there's a lot of hippy dippies. I'm in the Bay Area, right? There's a lot of hippy dippies that don't like to wear deodorant. They want their natural funk. They come in and, dude, the whole studio just gets funked up with BO. So I can't imagine what they went through in that house. And the kids, that's not funny. It's terrible. It's nasty. It's disgusting. I can't imagine it. It'd make me sick. I would cuss someone out. I can't do that. I have to be like, excuse me. I can't put the stencil down because I really need your foot to be clean. It won't stick on there. So can you go wash that and take this razor while you're at it and shave the damn top of your foot so I can tattoo it? The purple is color of royalty. Purple's my favorite color, Foxy. Yeah, that is foul. But I just want to give you guys an idea of how that, everything's okay now. The babies are all good. Nobody died, guys, which I'm so grateful for. When everybody says another sad story, yes, but nobody died.
Of being in law enforcement, this is probably one of the most profound child neglect cases I have ever seen in my career. And I think Chris can probably attest to that as well. He's been doing this for a long time. So I'll let Chris go into some of the details, but just a brief chronology. There was a child that was born on May 26th, and DCF got involved because when the child was born, they were tested positive for THC or marijuana in their system.
Okay.
That prompted a response from DCF. They went out and did a follow-up investigation on July 7th. Just a routine home visit to go and check to see the child, see how they were doing, see how they were progressing. Deputies and rescue were contacted by the caseworker at the residence. We came out. They had some concerns about some very serious neglect. The baby had lost a significant amount of weight, had a terrible, terrible case of diaper rash, and just overall did not look well. The caseworker actually offered previously to take the baby to the pediatrician.
See, this, I mean, the fact that they even had to do this speaks volumes. Where were the 26-year-old mother and father that had adopted the other little boy? Where were they? Why didn't they say, like, hey, you know, your kid's temperature is like really low and the pulse is not going anywhere, and the baby's just sitting there 6 weeks, just sitting on a mattress covered with flies and things. I can't understand. Yeah, no, I know. And you know what's funny is I know it's more common than we think, cheapskate. It's more common than we think when I know they're making national headlines multiple times at Ohio House of Horrors, different Ohio House of Horrors. And then this, right? This is, all right, let's listen to what he says. I was hoping to get like a press conference or something, but I didn't.
The caretaker refused, and rescue ultimately transported the baby to the hospital. So from there, Detective Ashley began working on the case. A forensic medical team at the hospital where the baby was transported to actually made a medical determination that there was neglect. The child came to the hospital. They had, of course, low body weight, like I said, a low heart rate, low temperature, and were frankly on the verge of death, according to one of the caretakers.
Now, here's the thing is they came back. This was only supposed to be a routine checkup on the 6-week-old. But once they got there and they saw the baby, they almost thought the baby wasn't even alive and wasn't going to make it. Then they removed the baby. They removed the mom, came back on July 28th with a search warrant after being granted. They had to come back with a second warrant, guys. After July 28th, they saw a second warrant to illegally remove the fourth child. They didn't have enough evidence of neglectful conditions at the time before going into the house and seeing unsafe ceiling repair, black mold, rotting floors, animal feces, flies, maggots, patches of mold on the floor, on the ceiling, paint brushes, busted water pipes, uneaten food with flies and cockroaches. Damn.
So I just want to read a brief excerpt from one of the caretakers at the hospital that's actually noted in the report. This mother refuses to seek health care when DCF advised she had taken the infant to the emergency room. When this infant was presented to the emergency room, the infant required admission to the pediatric intensive care unit due to low heart rate, low body temperature, and low weight. Without DCF intervention on July 7th, the infant could have easily died. This mother did not recognize the severity of the illness that the infant was experiencing and even refused when told to go to the ER. The child is at serious risk of illness or death if ever left in the care of this mother again in the future.
Damn, wow. Like that.
And
so
yeah, it's just terrible.
That illustrates the.
Well, I mean, guys, she's 26 years old. For them to take the baby forever, that's got to be bad. I mean, that's bad, right? She just had the baby. They found substances that she was taking during pregnancy, and then this. I know, Gianna. That's why we don't do that. That's why we sit behind a computer screen. We talk about the cases. We pray for the victims, and we have discussions because we don't want you going to jail, my friend. All right. But we do want to get you a gift today. Guys, hit the like button. Get a membership for members only Monday giveaway. All right. We're maybe halfway to our goal. I don't know. We don't need to get that. 99-cent super stickers. Cool. Whatever. I just said it that way. I thought we collectively decided the entire state of Ohio was a state of horrors. Did we? I'm gonna have to look back at that contract, Foxy.
Yeah, you know, the level of neglect that we're talking about here. This is not to downplay any child neglect, but this is a very serious, very profound case, like I said. So I'll let Chris, weigh in on this and share with you a little bit about what he found. Not to steal his thunder, but this place the living conditions were absolutely abhorrent. There were animal feces all over the place, smeared all over the poor children's feet, and just rancid food left out in bed.
And mind you, again, you're going to hear a lot of headlines that call this evil behavior, same as the Ohio House of Horrors. All right. And you know what? If you can get anything, Eastern girls, I just want to bring more attention to this case. So if, for instance, the sister wants to talk and say, plead for help, or they have donations for the kids, or whatever they want to talk about, let me know. You have my email below, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. I think you've emailed me before. Just let me know. I'd be happy to cover this more deeper, or I'll just move forward and we'll come back when I get more information. Let me check my email.
Bedrooms, absolutely deplorable.
Yeah, Chris, how soon, as you're approaching this house, did you realize that this was going to be a very, not only just because of the concerns about the child at the hospital, but also just kind of as you're approaching it, what stood out to you?
Oh, it wasn't until you got to the front door. And when you got to the door, you're just automatically hit with the smell of pet urine, ammonia. You step in and you're just stepping into swarms of flies just throughout the house. And I mean, I've never seen so many flies in one place in my life. It was just bad. You just walked through every room, just had swarms of flies.
I mean, you could see she's not taking care of herself, my friends. She's got the most massive breakout on her face. Look at that. I mean, guys, this looks again like Ohio House of Horrors, right? They look the same. She's got the pink coloring on her face. She's 26 years old. Guys, I just turned 47. She looks like she's 77. What is up with that? Debbie says, oh my God, it's so sad. I can't see why a mother can live like that. But listen, at least, Debbie, all the children are out of the house and they're being cared for. And the 6-week-old baby is not in danger anymore. All right. So that's a good thing about today's episode, is that nobody died. The kids are good. That might be bug bites, but it looks like pimples to me, maybe. But let me show you something real quick, because thank you, Tiff. Tiff sent this, right? We got a flow chart going on. I know. Those are big bug. It looks like pimples to me, but take a look real quick. Let me pull myself off here real quick. All right, so look. There you go. Jodie Cannon, 26 years old, mother of the 6-week-old infant and 2 other children in the home. Arrested on July 21st, 2026. She got aggravated child neglect with great bodily harm. She has a $35,000 bond. All right. I know. Me too. I'm all about the flow charts, baby. All right. Then we've got her boyfriend, 30 years old. And he is the biological father of her 3 children. He's also the son of Melissa Kill. Okay. I didn't know that. He's the son of Melissa Kill. And then John Kill is the stepdad. John Kill, he previously lost custody following a DCF investigation. Oh, okay. This makes sense, guys. Listen for a second. Yes, drugs can age people like crazy, but check this out. So he's the biological of her 3 children, and he also is the biological dad of the 4th child that they adopted. So all children in the house were tied to Jordan. Jordan got his girl pregnant 3 times and another girl before that. So the biological kid that was adopted by Melissa and John was Jordan's son. Again, they came back 3 weeks later, or a week later, on July 28th, and they arrested the rest of them. All right. And they all got, what did they get? They all got, he's the son of, biological father. They all have the same $2,500 bond. That's weird. So he got $2,500, Melissa got $3,000, and John got $3,000. And they all got just child neglect, except she got child neglect with great bodily harm. I don't know. because 10% of 2,500 is what? 250? Yeah, so adoptive is a grandchild. Now look, 6-week-old infant was what brought them July 7th. Then July 21st, they came back later for child number 2 and child number 3. Then a week after that, they came back on July 28th for the adopted child of Jordan's biological, but not the mom. They don't know who the mom was, and so they had to come back with a second search warrant. Now, when you look at the chart, yes, thank you. Thank you, my girl Tiff. I love flow charts. All right. Love flow charts, but you can see there who the mother, biological father, adopted parent, all that. So if you need all that, there you go. All right. Really low bell. How come they're not out? I wonder. All right, let's continue. Thank you. I appreciate that. Guys.
The 2 adults and the juvenile slept in the living room, and the juvenile was sleeping on a mattress, and that mattress had swarms of flies, just around the mattress. So I don't know how that kid was able to sleep out at all. And then you just keep going into the house, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, just going through it.
What did the people who are living at the house, and I know 4 people, these adults are facing charges now in this case, but like when you talk to them, what did they say about these conditions?
Well, they all knew it was bad, and I guess what started was a hurricane about 3 years ago that tore a hole in the roof, and instead of getting it professionally repaired, they just put a tarp over it.
Kind of like my house. Do you remember when my roof fell in? Guys, Clark knows, Sadie's mama knows, Foxy knows, right? We have our issues, right? A roof falls in, 2 years later, it's fixed. I don't understand how these meth knees get fat, because they've done it so long that they're like daily users, and I guess their body's just used to it. I'm sure they had bed bugs too. There was fleas and flies and cockroaches. 3 years blown out roof in Florida. Yeah, that's bad. That is really bad in Florida. California is bad. It's uncomfortable. But in Florida, oof.
And the tarps ended up leaking. And I got a video from a third party that showed the water just coming out of the ceiling down the drapes into buckets. And when DCF went back in, I think, one of their earlier visits, they took pictures.
So I want to know who owns this house. Where did you go? Where's Eastern Girl? So who owned the house? I mean, maybe they did. That's like maybe an older kind of, I don't know if it's even, is that a house or like an RV or like a double wide? Who owned that house? That's the thing, because if the roof fell in and they're just putting a tarp and doing all that, I wonder, they're going to demolish. They're going to, what do you call that? Not demolish, but they're condemning the house. The house has been condemned. Is it a double wide? Okay, I thought so. So if it's a double wide, they probably own it. They probably threw that double wide on there quite a while back. And double wides, guys, trailers, RVs, all those are not built like a house. All right. They're thin, they're prefabbed, and they're all ready to go. So it is a double wide. All right. Tracy. Oh God. Are you talking about Tracy, California? It's hot out there. Yeah, it's a trailer. It's a double wide trailer. So trailers, they pay a lot of rent. How is the people that own that not paying for that? And how can they paint over the mold and not fix the floor? It just doesn't make sense. I can't understand. They pay for the lot, but it's their house. I mean, I see this often, guys. I see broke down trailers or double wides. People just don't fix them like that, but they don't live in them. You toss them. So I guess we know
the drapes have mold on it. Black mold.
The drapes have mold?
And so they actually patched the ceiling with plywood and then painted over the mold. But if you're familiar with black mold, it's all in the attic on the roof joists and all that. So they didn't get it professionally removed. If you don't get it professionally removed, it's going to just continue to grow no matter what you do. So they were very aware of how bad that house was.
Chris, let me see if I can summarize one of the interviews for you without divulging anything confidential or compromising the case.
All right, guys. So really quickly here, this is it's Florahome, Putnam County, Florida. It's about 60 miles outside of the big towns. Does that make sense? Okay, so they own the mobile home and they rent the lot to park it there. That sucks. So normally a spot like that would be like anywhere between 12 and 1600 out here. So I'm wondering what they paid, and yeah, that's on them then. If that's their own trailer, it doesn't look like it's a trailer. So they most likely don't pay lot rent. Well, that's what Eastern Girl's saying. Eastern Girl knows the sister or one of the members of the family, Putnam County, malaria, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with Florida. I'm just telling you what I know. That's all I know. Florahome, Putnam County, Florida. I've never heard of that in my life, guys. But I do think it's a prefabbed house, and prefabbed house don't last even close to as long as a house does. All right. All right, Dale, thank you so much. God bless the children. 110%, guys. Hit the like button, get in the algorithm, and now more people will know about what's going on. If you see something, say something and do something. These neighbors knew something was going on, and not many people did anything. I mean, you could do anything. Yeah, Sadie's mama. I ran into this too. And I didn't do that. I wasn't able to fix my roof because I had money. It was because you have to. I don't understand.
It's suffice to say that no matter what the question that was asked, they had an excuse for everything. And the fact of the matter is there is absolutely no excuse for anyone, much less children, to be exposed to an environment like this.
110%.
It's just, I mean, first of all, you just wonder how someone just from a health standpoint would actually be able to live in conditions like that. I mean, you just think of the flies and, you know, this time of year in Florida and just how humid it can get. But there were two other children in the home as well, right? So you have this infant, this newborn really. And then
there was actually a total of 4 children.
4 children. And how are they doing? Like what health concerns do you have for them considering the conditions they were in?
Well, I can't necessarily say that they're thriving, but they've been placed in foster care.
Now, I'm not sure when he spoke on this. This came out a little bit after some of the articles. This is August 5th. So as of August 10th today, they literally say the children are thriving. Now, I want to know if you guys are interested at the end of this. We're getting there real soon. Do you want me to just quickly update you on the Courtney Clenny situation? Because I'm not going to do a full episode on it. I'm going to tell you what we talked about and what they got and move on with Courtney Clenny. So let me know if you guys want me to update you at the end of this episode about the Courtney Clenny so that you can at least have a voice on the platform and wrap up what we talked about last week. Hit a 1. All right, let's continue. Put a 1 in chat and also hit the like button, guys. We have 146 people still in here and we're going over to Turtle Island after this. I need y'all's help. All right, they're going to try to kick me off, especially after what I did on Friday. All right, let's continue.
So they're obviously in a much better environment that they were in. Frankly, I think if they'd been living out in the woods as feral children, they would have probably been in a much cleaner, safer environment than what they were in this home.
That's not good.
And when it comes to, when you say like at the hospital, there's kind of this determination that
in your lungs
case. And, you know, unfortunately we see across the country, you know, there are homes where you could say, you know, someone could do a better job keeping it clean. Like, what is the bar when you get to that point where we're not just talking about someone who fell on hard times or might have a house in disarray? Like, what is the bar when you get to the point of something like this? I know this may go well beyond what that bar may be, but when it gets to the point where you feel like you have probable.
Yeah. And so here's the thing, guys, when I'm talking about the feces stuck to the floor and the urine, all of that was caked. So it said in one of the articles that it looked like it had been built up for the last 10 years. So imagine that with buckets everywhere and bugs and not much food, but the food that's there to be rotten. How long did they let that happen? How long was that going on for? And what point did someone say, well, you know, let's just paint the mold again? Melanie says, I saw a spider on my car last week that was the size of my palm and it had 3 eyes. and you probably ran like hell or you stepped on it and ran, right? But when you're laying on mattresses and you just had a baby and you've tested dirty for when giving birth to the baby, you would think, all right, Interchain, you lived in Interchain, Palatka, and Crescent City, Florida. Okay. I don't know anything about Florida except it's humid and Disney World's okay, but it's too hot. All right, guys, we're still giving stuff away, and we're gonna do a recap of the Courtney Clenny case that was done today. All right, just to wrap up what we did on Friday. All right, I know my mama accidentally hid Sadie's mama, but she's back. All right, I bet you ran. I'm surprised you didn't throw something at it. Throw the chancla.
Cause for neglect case.
Well, some of what we've already highlighted, just the failure to keep the home in a safe environment. There was literally no food there for the children. They weren't being cared for. And here's the reality of it. This is nothing more than a case of pure unadulterated laziness. If you go through and you actually look at some of the photos, you can see cleaning supplies in the home. So they had the means and the ability to clean this place up, and they were just lazy.
There you go.
Was there any prior interaction with this family with either law?
I want to know how you could be lazy or fat when doing methtivities. Anyone? Hey, Ray Hansen, good to see you. It's always good. Happy Monday. Eastern Girls lived in Lakeland for 7 years. Interlocking. Okay, thank you. They're close. Florahome is close. My late husband got bit by a poisonous spider. We stayed over there on our way to Disney. It was horrible, nasty. Right. Man, those spider bites eat your skin from the inside out. I'm just wondering how it got to that. Did you, Gianna's like, did you throw the chancla? Damn.
Unfortunately, I know DCF had been involved after the child was born and some of the concerns at the hospital, but like, was this a family on your radar prior to this?
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we'd been out there once in the past, some time ago, but nothing of any significance that I'm aware of.
And the newborn child, was that child born at a hospital? What's typically the process? And I know DCF was getting involved, but some people might look and just say, like, when you have a child born with marijuana in their system, I think kratom was also in their system as well.
He called it kratom. Just kidding. They got kratom. They got the gas station kratom chemicals. I wonder what else they were having with their methtivities, huh? I tried to send another 2. I got a raise today. What, Dale? Happy raise day. I don't know why it's not letting you. Try 99 cents. See if 99 cents goes through. All right. I don't know. But y'all, thank you for being here. All right. Let's continue. I want to. There's so many other things. Like, guys, this investigation began as a simple, and it's not that simple, but 6 weeks old infant. She did give birth at the hospital, but the test came out with kratom, and marijuana. But when they took the baby into the hospital, the nurses said that the baby was severely underweight, suffering from extensive diaper rash and signs of medical neglect. And the hospital staff reported that the baby's condition was life-threatening, almost to the point where the child lost its life. So that led the first arrest of Jodie. And then later, when the investigation came out, they came back and they did 2 search warrants and they ended up arresting everybody. All right. So deputies found inside, you guys know, one of the first responders almost threw up because of the black mold throughout the residence, rotting unsafe floors, animal urine and feces covering most of the home, heavy flies and cockroach infestations. Mattresses were also infested with fleas and flies, and spoiled food from an overwhelming odor from inside the refrigerator. Now, the house was also structurally unsafe, and they shouldn't have been living there. Even the ceilings, the roof was close to falling back in. The officer says they can't describe the house of horrors that the children were living in. Animal feces and urine, black mold flies, and once again, they call it first world living, and first world and also feral children. Not good.
Like, how does the law kind of view that, where a mother could still take their child home, but then DCF gets involved? Like, what's that process typically like?
DCF views that as, something that is not favorable for the child or the parents. But they do everything they can in most.
Shout out to Dell. Thank you, Dell. And I'm so happy for you. It's so nice to hear somebody's getting a raise, right? It's always good to hear good things. And none of the children lost their lives, guys. They have an opportunity now. All right. Eastern Girl says, Jay, my daughter works 11 to 7 tonight with my sister. So she said she will talk to her tonight and let me know. But she also said, as of now, she said, yeah, the kids are in foster care, not together, but they are thriving, is what one of the articles say. But like I said, any information, no rush, Eastern Girl. I just want to know more, right? Once you get started on this, you just want to know more. We're also giving stuff away at this end, guys.
Is to try and keep families united without separating them. And as part of this case, like I said, they were going out there and doing routine follow-up visits. And it's also worth noting that this mother said she was using marijuana while she was pregnant with the child. Obviously, that shows up in the drug screen whenever the child is born. But this is not, medical grade cannabis that she was going and getting from a dispensary. She was going and buying this fake marijuana, Delta 9 THC, whatever it is, that you can go to any convenience store and get. So
I wonder if she was getting they have stuff like that looks like plants and dirt. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. When you go to the stores, you see these little things that they're selling, including get sexier now, like somebody said, but that's what? Oh, hey, cheapskate. Hey, 50 cent raise per month. It's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing, I guess. It's either better than nothing, cheapskate, or it just pisses you off and makes you want a new job, right? I honestly think if somebody gave me a raise for 50 cents per month, I'd probably be like, are you trying to make me quit? Is that your way of giving me my notice? What? But still, hey, better than nothing. You work for the state. Yeah, that happens. Before taxes, before or after taxes. All right, Delta 9 is synthetic, but it's just as bad at the gas station. Right. And you're not supposed to give it to your baby. You're not supposed to breastfeed when you're doing that. You're not supposed to take that when you're pregnant with the baby. But I guess she saw other hazardous things and didn't compare.
Absolutely no excuse for this behavior.
What happens to the house now?
Good question.
So, Chris, I'll let you take that.
The house is actually condemned through our code enforcement department. So once they get out, they have the opportunity to repair the house, but they have to do it during the day. They can't be in the house at night. They've got to get all kinds of permits and all that to even start the work. From talking with family, I believe that the house is actually owned by
there it is,
an older relative. It would be grandma, great grandma, or the lady's grandmother. So I don't see them actually going back into the house at any point or even fixing the house.
Okay, so somebody did own it. One of the family members owned it, and obviously they neglected. All right, how many animals were there? There were 4 animals, 3 cats and 4 dogs. Now, I don't know what kind of dogs. That makes a difference. Tweakers get active. I know, that's the thing, is I'm wondering, they look like they were tweaking off of something too. So guys, that only takes 3 days to get out of your system. So she could have easily been doing the uppers, and then when she gave birth, have stopped in 3 days, would have never been detected. All right. I tried Delta 9 gummy and I couldn't feel my face. Wow. I did not realize Delta 9 and all that gas station shit would do that. Interesting. Well, whatever. If you want to huff paint, have meth activities, go to the gas station and buy garbage, buy it. But only if it's affecting yourself. If you're pregnant or you have children and you're going to go home and just let the feces pile up, not eat dinner, let the bugs pile up, then you're doing something wrong. That's a problem.
It might just
Chris, I'm not a contractor, so I can't offer any sort of professional opinion. But probably the best way
I can just bulldoze that shit down or light it on fire and then bulldoze it and then just light it up, torch it.
to address this home would be with a match and to start over. It's that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly sounds like it from the way you've been describing it. And I know there's only so much you can say about interactions you've had with suspects in this case, but as far as the mom and her not wanting to take this.
Guys, there's no shame. There should literally be no shame in having to take your opioids or your marijuana or your whatever, right? If you have ADHD and you take those damn whatever, those upper pills, that's on you. If you're not pregnant and you're not letting your children just run wild and let your house fall apart, there's no shame in any of that. That's the thing. Nobody should be shamed by the medicine that they take that they need. But when you start getting this and you're neglecting your children and it's affecting them, then we have a problem. Otherwise, take what you take, guys. Whatever you take. I don't think Adderall, whatever the heck, right? That's up to you. I wouldn't do that because it'd feel like a constant, like you were constantly tweaking. But hey, whoever needs it, just don't harm your children.
Child, even when told by DCF to take this child to seek medical care, was there any reason why she wouldn't want, with all the health concerns that were there, that she wouldn't want to take her child to go see a doctor?
Nothing more than pure unadulterated laziness and more excuses that we got whenever she was interviewed.
Laziness.
And I really wish I could tell you more.
Sure.
But we can't, because we can't share those details from those interviews for a multitude of reasons, not the least of which it may compromise the investigation. But this should have never happened.
Yeah, it just sounds awful. I'm sure experiencing it, Chris, actually going into this house, certainly an experience you don't want to go through again.
Wear a mask.
Just lastly, what's next in this case? What's going to happen next?
So all of these charges have been referred to the state attorney's office. They're actually taking care of the prosecution, and they're working hand in hand with Detective Ashley and some of our other investigators to see this case through to fruition, prosecution, and bring it to a close.
Yeah, just a horrific case. Sheriff Gator.
Y'all want me to be late every day, don't you? You already anticipated I was going to come in hot today. Allie says, my stomach hurts from laughing. Light up that shit. Hey, guys, this is just me being sober after a Monday of work, drinking a freaking Frappuccino. Still gonna come hard at Turtle Island tonight, by the way, which I'm gonna direct you there when we're done here. We're still giving something away. Wild. I don't understand why I don't understand how they can live in those conditions without being noticed, and the excuses, right? Gianna could come over to all of our houses. I gotta pay the cleaning lady. Come on over. My husband's a commercial cleaner with OCD. Yeah, man. I don't think any of us like to live in filth.
Deloach of Putnam County, Florida, and Chris Ashley, lead investigator of this case. Thank you both for the work you do, first and foremost. And thanks for speaking with us about this case. I mean, it's so concerning, and you have worries about how many houses like that are out there. But fortunately for these children, they're out of that situation. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You.
That will do it for On the Case, presented by Law and Crime. Subscribe to us on YouTube and.
All right, guys, we made it through. I'm going to show you one thing from Florida, and then we're going to just cover quickly in 5 minutes a Courtney Clenny sentencing today, and then we're going to give away a Guilty of Crime merch bag and some stickers, and I'll direct you to Turtle Island. Real quick, I want you to see something just so you get an idea, because it happens again and again. I have a whole list of House of Horrors, and every time I do a House of Horror, it's labeled House of Horrors Ohio or Florida or Ohio times 2, right? So I just want to give you an idea of 4 children living in a filthy Florida home, what it would look like. This was 2 years ago, but it happens time and time again. Crazy Jane says, I take opioids and smoke pot. I have metal plates in my spine. My kids are grown, and you're also Crazy Jane. So there you go. Hey, do you, boo? All right.
Of filth. This is what deputies saw when they responded to a home in Deltona. Trash piled up, cockroaches crawling on the bed,
So this is not that house. I haven't been able to get pictures of that yet, but it is Florida. And it says a Volusia County couple was arrested after staff reported that a teen came to school with roaches in her book bag on Tuesday. All right. I just want you to get an idea. Their house probably looked even worse than this.
And animal feces everywhere.
The couple living there has now been charged with child neglect, and their children have been removed from the home. Fox 35's Deborah Cho spoke with someone who lives nearby.
Neighbors were shocked when I showed them pictures of what it looked like inside that home. They were shocked that people were living inside of there in those conditions, and the fact that children had to experience all of that. These are the conditions Volusia County Sheriff's deputies found when they responded to this Deltona home. Samantha Aker and Christopher Rounds, along with 4 kids, all lived in the house. Deputies say the home
more metivities
had a foul odor, no working air conditioning, trash everywhere, along with roaches roaming throughout, including in the children's bed. Neighbors couldn't believe this.
That's very sad. That's very, very sad.
Deputies responded to the home because the 15-year-old girl, who is deaf and mute, showed up to school wearing dirty clothes and had roaches coming out of her backpack. Samantha Aker was released on Wednesday night. I went to the home, but no one answered. All 4 children are now staying with family friends.
I'm glad the kids are safe. I'm glad the kids are safe. That's the bottom line.
Detectives say that Christopher Rounds was not.
All right. So, yeah, Florida's a big place. I just want you guys to understand what happens there and, you know, what it probably looks like. It's the same thing time and time again. Thank you, Juanita. Roach bugs or duh. Pigs are freaking cleaner than that. Deltona. Crazy Jane says, I'm not crazy. And Rob Edie says, yeah, right. Can you imagine going to school and cockroaches coming out of your backpack? Now, mind you, she was, what did they say? She had some kind of, I don't know if they said I was doing multiple things. Was she deaf or a hearing problem, something like that? All right, guys. Jay, have a great night. Got to hit bed early in the morning, but I'll email you. Just wrote it down. Have a great night. Much love. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here, and I hope to hear from you soon. All right, let's get to it, guys. Let's check out the Courtney Clenny thing real quick. You guys know I covered this on Friday. Courtney Clenny did take a plea deal, and we speculated why take a plea deal at this point. What information came out that forced the prosecution to say, man, we better do this because we might not get a guilty plea. What happened? What caused this? Now, mind you, she was in there for 4 years, deaf and mute. Thank you. I didn't want to state that incorrectly. So, all right, just quickly, we're not doing Courtney Clenny, but I covered that on Friday. And then we're giving away a guilty of crime pack. All right. And then I'll send you off to Turtle Island. Turtle Island is already good to go right now. Some people, I went over there and said hello. Let me just drop the link for you just in case someone has to go and you guys are like, hey, what are we doing later? This is what you're doing later if you want. We're going to probably have some shit talking mother trucker. We're going to have some mother truckers tonight that want to kick me off Turtle Island, guys. And it's our job as guilty of crime crew members to try to swim. All right. So people are going to call in. People are going to say nasty stuff. That's what they do on Turtle Island. They want to kick me off of guilty of crime because they want their other creators to win, obviously. But we don't play dirty. We just play. We play to have fun. So that's Turtle Island. I dropped the link. I'll drop it at the end and take you guys over there. This is the 3rd time I've been on Turtle Island. It would be nice to win. I think at this point, if I don't know I'm going to play this again because every time I do Turtle Island, boy, does people like to stir up the stuff. All right. So, yeah, I hadn't heard of it until I did either. So there it is. That's where you're going to head here after in 27 minutes. But thank you. I need my Gianna. I know you come out swinging. I need the people that are like, hey, let's play. But we don't play dirty. All right. We don't play dirty like that. That's not how we do. All right. So there's that. Let me get you over to Courtney Clenny. I knew that something came in when that the prosecution didn't like. I knew a piece of evidence came in. I broke it down on Friday. I listened to the criminal analyst. I listened to Mark Geragos, and I was like, damn, man, something happened. Guys, she's been doing 4 years. She gets out in the next 16 to 18 months. She got 6 years, and everybody was okay with it. All right. I don't know. I come from the ghetto. I play to win. I play to win too. I just don't play dirty. Though it's not dirty it's dirty if you start making up lies about people to get them kicked off. Hey, be fair, man. Say Jay from Guilty of Crime's got an ugly mug and all she ever does is talk crap. And she's triggering. Okay, fair. But don't come on and kick me off with a lie. Play fair. All right, what's up, Michael? Good to see ya. All right, let's look at her, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to predict this, and I don't care what anyone says. She's not supposed to profit off of this crime, but guys, she's 30 years old. By the time she gets out, she's going to be around 32 years old, and she's going to need to make some moves to secure whatever she's doing. Now, she could go on OnlyFans again. She can be an escort. She can be in movies. She can be a porn star. Whatever she wants, she can be, but she can't profit directly from the death of Christian Obenselli. But I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people do say that too. A lot of people say she's going to end up getting arrested again. Okay. All right. I know, raw beanies. I know it sucks. That's why if we don't take Turtle Island this time, I might just be like, nah, it's too much. But anyway, she's growing out her hair. She looks a lot different from the beginning. When she first got in, she was rough. She still looks rough, but not when she first came in. She went to rehab, and now she's been doing her time. Guys, she's going to come out, and it's going to be another Gypsy Rose. I'm telling you right now, everybody's going to be like, oh, my queen on TikTok, and we're going to have people on here I was in her prison with her. I was her girlfriend, this and this, and we're going to hear a bunch of shit. All right, and it is a shame because she's going to be 10 times more popular than she ever was. And no, she didn't learn a damn thing. She was blowing kisses and sticking out her tongue at the last pre-trial hearing. All right. So let's take a look at sentencing. She got 6 years. She was facing 25 to life. All right. So that's it. We're not going to go too deep into that. And then I'm going to give you guys a Guilty of Crime pack, and then we're out. Hold on. Is it going? Sorry. Hold on. Why is it not? Hold on. I think I pressed play on the wrong one. 1 second. All right, here it is.
Who was accused of killing her boyfriend at their Miami apartment back in 2022, accepted a plea deal today.
She pled guilty to manslaughter. Local 10's Jeff Jordarian, he was inside the court.
You remember we talked about that on Friday? It dropped to manslaughter. All right. Note, Jay called it 8/10/2026. I also said 7 years. She could get 7 years. She got 6 years for taking a life, and she'll be out very soon. I did call it that. It's August 10th today. All right. Manslaughter. Why does it keep doing that? Hold on.
Today.
He is live with the very latest on the sentence that was handed down. Jeff.
Yeah, hey there, guys. So this morning it is a done deal. Everything we have been reporting all morning was formalized by the judge today. Courtney Clenny changing her plea to guilty, accepting responsibility, and now pleading guilty to a charge of manslaughter. And the family of Christian Obenselli saying his love for the OnlyFans model ended up costing him his life. Let's take you inside the courtroom now and tell you exactly what happened today. Clenny, no emotion today, no reaction, only answering yes when asked by the judge if she changes her plea to guilty, and now accepts responsibility for the charge of manslaughter. Clenny was originally charged with second-degree murder in this case. Prosecutors say she stabbed her boyfriend, Christian Obenselli, to death in 2020. 2022 during an argument. She had tried to claim it was self-defense. Both sides coming to an agreement today on this plea deal. Keep in mind the judge, the prosecution, and the defense all in on this prior.
So this is official, guys, and I'm telling you, information was coming in after. It's been years, okay? But they were going to trial, things were coming in, things were getting kicked out, et cetera, and the prosecution said, damn, with that evidence, which we don't know because it's not going to be out. It's like we're gonna get a bunch of speculation, like you know, all the other conspiracy theory stuff. Yeah, she'll be out in 13 months, definitely. She'll definitely be out, and she's definitely gonna have a following. Okay, I'll tell you that right now.
To today. No one walked into this courtroom this morning just learning about this deal. And that also goes for Christian's family. They were part of this. They were part of the negotiations, if you will, because that's what this is. This is a negotiation. We want this time. No, we want you to do this time. And so they ended up settling on 6 years. Now, she will serve in state prison for 6 years, 5 years probation. Here's what the judge had to say, and also a cousin speaking on behalf of Christian's mom. Take a listen.
I understand you wish to plead guilty to manslaughter in exchange for the plea that was read into the record a moment ago. Has anyone, including your own attorney, promised you anything other than that? Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you to accept a plea at this time? To the charge of manslaughter with a deadly weapon, I'm sentencing you to 6 years in the state prison with all applicable.
You know, she wanted to jump inside. Yeah, 6 years. I'm almost done. Now, guys, I have been in situations. Now, I've been in situations with friends like this. When I say friends like this, meaning couples that fight the way that Christian Obenselli and Courtney Clenny did. Okay. I wish that Christian Obenselli would have left. The first time, the second time, the third time, the fifth time. I've seen it happen. All right. I've seen a couple literally be on benders and just be. Oh my God. Dolly Vision just started and it kicked me off. Did you hear that? She's tall as I know. That's what I was saying. She's a big girl. She was like as tall as Christian Obenselli. All right. We're almost done.
Credit for time served, followed by 5 years of reporting probation.
Honey.
Words can never fully explain how Christian's death has affected my life and the lives of everyone in our family. There is simply too much pain to put on paper. That was the darkest day of my life. And the darkness continued to unfold as I learned Christian had been killed by his girlfriend, Courtney Clenny, someone he had trusted and loved. Since April 2022, I have lived with fear, anxiety, sleepless nights, heartache, and more tears than I could ever count.
Clenny not addressing the court today, not saying anything to the victim's family. Also, too, we can tell you that her mother and father.
1 second. I'm going to play this and run, and then I'll run right back. And then we're going to give stuff away. And if y'all could drop the link, I'll drop the link. But Dolly Vision starting. It's just starting. It starts in 19 minutes. It's supposed to. I don't know why they got the music coming on. Let me play this. I'm going to.
Were seated in the front row to the right where Courtney Clenny was, and then also on the left side was Christian Obenselli's family. They did not really look at each other or lock eyes at all, as you can imagine. Let's do a little quick math here before we go. So Clenny has served 4 years already. This happened in 2022. She was sentenced to 6 years today. So if you do the math, that's 2 years left on the sentence. However, if she gets credit for good time, she could only serve about 20.4 months from today, and then she would be out. However, under Florida law, let's tell you this, if she decides to go back on OnlyFans, wants to write a book, have a movie, whatever she wants to do, a special on Netflix, she cannot profit from this at all. That's according to the law here in Florida. Also, one other thing before we go, 1 o'clock this afternoon, the defense team is holding a news conference, so we should learn more about what their thoughts there on the sentence. Our crime specialist, Bridget Matter, she will be there. We will have coverage first at 3 o'clock here on Local 10. We're live in Miami. Jeff Gadarian, Local 10 News.
Okay.
All right. I lost a bunch of you, but guess what? We're giving stuff away. Let me share my screen. It's one of those days. Okay, look, guys, hit the like button. Y'all about to win something. And then we're going to Turtle Island to battle it out. All right. Okay. Start. And let's go. Hit the like, subscribe. You got to be in the green, guys. All right, here we go. Everyone jump to Dolly. Yeah, please. All right, here we go. 2-1 and raw beanies. Raw, I don't. Sammy's so cute. She says, pick me. There you go. Raw beanie 429. As long as you're in the US, we got you. You good? Manic Monday. Manic members only Monday. All right, Rob Beanie just won. Congratulations. Tiff's gonna send that out to you. Her email is guiltyofcrime.merch@gmail.com. And I'm gonna do this. Let me show you real quick. Rob Beanie, reach out, get your prize. I'm gonna show you what's going on here real quick. Let me lower this. All right, this is Turtle Island, guys. So even if you don't know how to play or what's going on, it's okay. You'll figure it out. That's Turtle Island. We're going to be over there. All right. And where did Rob Beanie? Rob Beanie won. Congratulations. You won it. All right. That's Dolly. All right, guys. So there it is. There's Turtle Island season 7. There's people in chat starting to wait. We are one of the channels on Turtle Island season 7, and we want to win. We play to win, but we play fair. We don't do dirty. All right. Congratulations, Rob Beanie. Yeah, you guys are gonna where did Tiff's email? Did she drop her email? Guilty. There it is. All right, cool. So Rob Beanie, there you go. Reach out. Let me drop the link one more time. Turtle Island is starting now. Dolly's getting set up. You can see here it starts in 13 minutes. And you can see people in chat. Mr. Mab's already there. And if you don't know about Turtle Island, don't worry. Just go with the flow and we'll talk in chat. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me today and with all my wackiness and my late and stopping. Thank you. I appreciate you. And yeah, go over, subscribe, and try to call in. If you don't call in, you can still vote other ways. All right, Cheeky, Robini, congratulations, Lucky. We need to get you in the green. Gianna, you win. You won. Dolly World. All right, guys. I love you guys. Thank you for your patience with me today. And listen, we play to win, but we play fair. Okay? No making up lies. We only tell the truth. And if they don't like the truth, well, then guess what? They can go fuck right off. All right. Thank you, Lucky. Good night, guys. I'll see you on the island right now. Bye.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?